Welcome to the Flexorcise Studio. Today I'm going to be showing you this month's exercise of the month. In today's exercise we're going to be working on the core muscles, specifically the abdominals. I'm going to show you a couple of exercises, starting from beginner and working our way up to advanced, and these are exercises that you can do yourself at home with no equipment. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be working the abdominals today. I've got a nice exercise where all you need is a mat on a soft surface and literally nothing else but your body weight. Okay, so moving on into the exercise. Get you into position first of all. So I want you to lay yourself down on the mat. So we're going completely flat and we'll have our legs up so that the feet are flat on the floor to start with. First point, try and keep your fingertips tucked into the lower part of the back, and this way it'll give you an indication of whether your back is coming up off the floor. One problem that a lot of people have when they're starting these exercises is as they're contracting the abdominals and they take their legs away from the body, so we're extending those legs. The lower back has a tendency to come up off the floor and it can cause back problems, so it's very important that you tighten up the stomach and keep your back down on the floor. So like I said, fingers underneath your back, we're going to lay back down and we're taking our legs up at a 90-degree angle. Okay, so starting off we're going to do one leg at a time. And this is your basic exercise. We're going to just extend that leg out, okay? So we tap the heel down and come back, and then change and come back. Okay, so you can do a bundle of repetitions, alternating legs and keeping the control, and that will start you off nicely. So now moving on a little bit to taking it up a progression. Obviously there we've just done it with a bent leg, we're not putting too much pressure through the stomach or the lower back. So again, same thing, hands underneath the lower back. We take our legs out this time, and if you're a little bit stronger and you want to progress, again one leg at a time, we lay back and we extend. Tap down, nice and controlled, come back. Opposite leg, tap down and come back. And you can see I've got nice control, I'm keeping my stomach flat, not letting my body ridge. Okay, so here's an example of what would happen if you've not got the strength. You can see my body arches and my posture goes wrong. Okay, so I've shown you your basic and your intermediate there. Now we're going to move on to something a little bit more advanced, and we're doing both legs together. By doing this, you do put a lot of pressure through that lower back, so you need to make sure that your abdominals are strong enough that you can pull your back towards the floor and maintain the posture. If you're not strong enough and those legs are going out and you're lifting off the floor, then I advise you to drop back down to the intermediate, where you're just bending one leg and straightening one leg at a time. Okay, so this one, exactly the same start position. We're going to get into that position with a 90-degree angle at the knees, and then we're going to take both legs out, tap down with the feet and come back in again. So now you're in position, we take our legs up at that 90-degree angle. Again, tuck the fingertips into the lower part of the back just to make sure that your back's not raising off the floor. Lay back down flat, and then this is where we keep some nice control. We roll out, tighten up the stomach and then roll back in. Roll out, tighten up the stomach and roll back in. So when you're doing this exercise, if you're doing it properly, you should feel the lower abdominals and the hip flexors working. Quite a challenging exercise. So there are your three progressions. Obviously when you're working the core, you need to make it challenging enough so that the core is working to its maximum without overdoing it, and obviously the posture going wrong, especially on this exercise where you're laying down on the mat. So going back to those key points and those tips that you need to remember while doing this exercise. 1, make sure you're strong enough before you progress from one exercise to the next. 2, keep the control the whole way through the exercise. Try not to rush through it. The more control you have, the longer you're keeping the contraction on the stomach, and the better it's going to work. And number 3, especially with this kind of exercise, keeping that posture right, keeping the back down on the floor and the stomach nice and tight, so we're really working those abdominals. So when you've tried all today's exercises, make sure you pop over to www.flexorcise.co.uk and fill in my contact form and let me know how you got on with them. It's always good to know your feedback. I hope you've enjoyed them, and I'll see you again next month.